Hello and welcome to Leipzig, Germany, where we've got the Chevrolet Corvette C8, Z06, or Z06, depending on where you are. Well, it's an American car, so I guess we say Z06. All right, this is Porsche Test Track. We are at the short track variant, or short circuit, or whatever. It's the short one. And a few things about this. I've definitely dialed in my handling before doing this. This is an endless endurance race. To do that, you've got to do certain things like this. You've got to take off-track cuts. That's one of the bigger ones. There's only two that you need to take. Sometimes I end up cutting through the bus stop coming up here, but watch very closely. Watch my distance marker. Not even a flash of red. Now, to pull off this type of racing, you have to do certain things. Like to take this cut, you've got to have all your assists off, okay, or else it's going to fight you. I recommend tilt B controls. Steering sensitivity, that's just personal taste. I know people who run 10, I know people who run 0 like me. I've only recently started running 0 all the time, so that's not critical. All assists off is critical. For instance, you try to do this with assists on, steering is going to fight you to get back on track, brakes are going to fight you, traction control are going to fight you. All going to make you lose all sorts of speed, and then you'll never reach the perpetual point, which is the point of the race where you could go on forever. That's what perpetual means. Quickly here, the upgrade costs of this car and the specs. So here's the fully upgraded specs. It's kind of expensive to fully upgrade, honestly, like for what it is. Purchase price is $600, but there was a limited time series in the past, probably will be in the future, or there was some sort of series where you can earn this car. But yeah, if you already own it, this is a decent option. If you don't own it, don't buy it just to do this. There are better options. Well, options that are similar, but way cheaper, like the Audi R8 LMS Ultra or Porsche 918 RSR Concept. Your earnings are lower, but the car cost and upgrade costs are substantially lower. And those are featured in way more series, so you get your money back a lot easier. Now, what is an endless endurance race? So, by now, of course, you've run lots of endurance races, and eventually you run out of cars, and then it ends. So, endless endurance is what happens after that. And so I made up the phrase perpetual point. I guess I like my alliteration. The phrase endless endurance already existed when I was on the scene. So perpetual point, you've got to pass 42 cars. And if you don't do it quick enough, then as you know, the race ends because you've already experienced that. There are a few tracks in the game that you don't have to take cuts. Like for instance, Melbourne. That's impossible to take an off-track cut at Melbourne, but there's a handful of cars that you can run endlessly there. Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Nissan Skyline Group A BNR 32. That's aka Godzilla. That one you can run forever. There's a handful of tracks like that. Definitely tricky, but this track is definitely the easiest track to learn this at. The way the bots drive it is so bad. So this is the easiest track to learn this in. And I'd say one of the next ones is probably Silverstone. That's a really good one. Le Mans is the highest paying track, but that's definitely more skill level required for that one. And I've got a playlist, I'll throw it at the end of this video. I've got a playlist with over 100 videos featuring this type of racing. So lots of options out there. And yeah, you can see here, it's already getting scarce, right? The cars are getting spread out. So you watch. You're going to notice here, when I reach the point, they're going to suddenly get closer together again. But my timer, like there you go, 85. I'm going to overfill it here again. Obviously, as you can see, you ignore the timer. You just go for it. So if this was like, I'm trying to think of a track where it's impossible to do endless endurance racing. Well, pick any Formula E track. You don't do this. You don't overfill the timer. Or Yas Marina, that's a great one, a Formula 1 track that, well, you can only run it in some older series. That one, you definitely have to pay attention to how much time do you get for each lap. And then you always get 10 seconds per car, so you make sure you don't overfill your timer. So that's what I call clock management technique. Totally different style of racing. This is just, as you can see, just go. Now I'm still racing. Ooh, that was bad. You don't want to slide like that. Lost all sorts of momentum. Nuts. But I'm still, lap 8, I'm going to hit the perpetual point pretty quick here because I've done this a lot. If you're not experienced at this, you might hit 20 kilometers and not get there. So you might get frustrated saying, how come I'm hitting it so early? I'm running faster than you. You just need to keep practicing. You'll get there. Look how much of the track I'm utilizing. You've got to do all that. It takes practice. I didn't do it my first try. My first time doing this was in the Ferrari FXXK, which is a lot easier to do this in, and it still took me 2 or 3 tries. It's actually 3 or 4, because I'd never done it before. Okay, notice how the cars are getting close together again. If you look at the little mini map there, you should be seeing lots of little black dots suddenly, and they can actually get pretty close. The longer you run faster back-to-back laps, the closer they get. But look at this. Look at all the cars you can now see. Whereas just 2-3 laps ago, there was like 1 car in front of me. Now you can see 4 or 5 rounding the corner. See, like, look ahead. Oh yeah, there's quite a few there now. And it can get pretty ridiculous sometimes. There's some races I've been shocked. Oh, I shouldn't have pushed that hard. Okay, we're gonna warp ahead here because you've already seen this is the perpetual point. So let's warp ahead a while to lap, what are we, lap 20? So that's about double the distance from where I just was. And I've got to go to 60 kilometers because the first place driver that I'm racing against is like, I think it's 58.9. I just know I told myself I have to go 60. And then we'll get to the fame per minute, which is what really matters when you're deciding what kind of races you want to run. I'll also bring up a little comparison chart that I keep handy so you can see where this ranks against other cars that can do this track. And here I'm going to push it again. I don't know. Oh, I made it that time. Oh boy. And you see there, I started sliding. I lifted off the throttle to regain control. If that was tilt A, forget about it. You're just going to go sliding like crazy. There's nothing you can really do except really brake a lot. So my first 18 months in this game, I was a tilt A driver. I know some people who are amazing at tilt A driving. It's just a lot harder to pull out of a skid. There's just no way you can do it without losing a little more speed than if you had tilt B. Tilt B gives you the option to coast, which is something that is definitely in real-life racing. You're not always gas or brakes. There's definitely feathering of the throttle. Now we're going to warp ahead here again. Oh, that was close. And this will be my last lap. Oh, I drove that one. Nuts, that's kind of funny. And pretty soon we'll see the guy that I got to beat. I'm pretty sure he's 58.9. You can see I'm sliding a little bit. Don't do that. Some guys, they're way too loose at that first section of Porsche, a short circuit there, and then that's why they're not doing it. Maybe it was 59 something. Where is he? Where's his marker? Or maybe it was 56.9. Yeah, it must have been 56.9 because I don't see him, which means I've already passed that. Okay, anyway, there we go. You have to get first place to get the maximum earnings. There's a definite percentage reduction for every place you have below first, so you have to get first. Freeze frame at 60, and then I go back and make sure I end the race exactly at 60 to give you these numbers. Race time, 20 minutes, 57 seconds. Fame per minute, 846. That's not bad, but here's the chart. And as you can see, definitely better options out there. Some of these cars are more expensive, but there you go. Please like, please subscribe. Join me for some more videos. Bye-bye now.